Last time out, we started by making quite a few big trades and then immediately jumped on into week one in a close battle against the Los Angeles Chargers. It went the whole length of the game, but by the end, we found a victory, 31-28. It was a great game from a number of different players on this team, and hopefully today, we're going to see a good bit more of that. But the competition is not the same. Chargers versus the Cowboys. It's just two very different teams. The Cowboys have an 85 offense, 89 defense, and 86 overall, with Micah Parsons their main guy for that defensive line. And it's a defensive line that I'm worried about with how we saw our offensive line perform last week against the Chargers, who did have premier guys on the edge in Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, but down the middle, they didn't have as good of guys. Cowboys have that across the whole line. And they had a pretty decent showing for their defense in week one. They are 7th in points per game, only giving up 17. Offense didn't have a great rushing game, pretty solid passing, and they scored 24 points. Dak Prescott, still their quarterback at 31 years old, a 90 overall. At running back, Tony Pollard is their primary, and they have Deuce Vaughn, who's up to a 73, and at this point, probably a serviceable backup. Receiving wise, they still have their top three, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and Michael Gallup. Behind them, they do have a rookie in Bernard Miller. We might see a little bit of him. At tight end, Jake Ferguson, a pretty solid guy. A young option behind him in Luke Schoonmaker, who I do have in the Michigan State only challenge, and finally did learn it is Schoonmaker and not Schoonmaker. I was close. As for their offensive line, they do have a hole here at left tackle. The rest of the way, though, looking pretty solid, an 88 at left guard, 75 at center, 98 at right guard, and then a 77 at right tackle. So we might have a little bit of success coming off of what would be the right side of our defense. Hopefully we see that actually happen. In terms of their defensive line is the main worry here. DeMarcus Lawrence, a 91. Micah Parsons, a 99. Then you have Odigizua down the middle, an 81. Plus they have Mozzie Smith, who's going to be a 76. Then you get to the outside backers. Bell is an 80. Down the middle, Vander Esch, an 83. And then Damon Clark, 79. So a really solid box. As for the corners, also really good top three. Diggs, Bland, and Gilmore, all 85 up. As for the safeties, Malik Hooker an 84, and then Wilson a 79. So maybe we'll have a little bit more success against Wilson, but it's completely opposite of what we faced last week. So if we're to see much success this week, the ball has to be out quick. Can't allow this defensive line to wreak havoc, and we'll probably have to play more so on the edge, which fits what we try to do most of the time. Let's just try to actually stick to that today. Let's get this home opener underway as the boot is through. Sims set back to return, as we will be returning with some blockers out in front, bumping into his own teammate, which took away all momentum. There was a gap there, but the offense will head out with a decent starting spot. Up at the 28 is where we begin with Young in this spread out offense. We got 3 over to the right hand side, 2 to the left. We're going to set up that screen, try to get it out there, and Jennings maybe get the block on Vander Esch. He was the closest defender. First play, not a good one. We lose 2, but I expect to try to go that way a little bit more often today. Just get the ball out to the outside, get some blockers out in front to try to actually utilize them as Hubbard cuts back towards the middle. We'll pick up a few, leaving 3rd and 8. And we did see a fantastic opening performance for Jennings last week. He had a touchdown, over 100 yards. He got involved early and often. As we find Tommy Tremble breaks one tackle, picking up the first down, a gain of about 10 up to the 42. We know we might have to go the tight end's way a good bit today, considering how good this defense is and how fast they can fly around. As we go with some RPO, trying to bounce it to the outside, getting around Parsons, does not contain. Chuba Hubbard picks up 7. And that's really what we need to do. Stretch the ball to the outside, force them to contain us. As we have 2nd and 3. Some more drag routes happening. Across the middle, we're going to find Mingo, who gets to almost the outside, but a nice gain down to 41. He really didn't get going much at all last week. Through the air, it was primarily Chenault and Jennings we talked about earlier as we fight forward there for a gain of 5. Though as the season progresses, I hope we do see a good bit more of Mingo. He has the talent as long as we can develop it. As we look for a pass to the outside here and just not quite tall enough to get it to Tommy Tremble. Was good coverage by Bell there. Probably should have went down underneath to Hayden Hurst, who was trailing. Either way, it's a 3rd and 5 here, looking to convert. Stepping up in the pocket, we go Jennings, who holds onto it. Tight coverage there from Diggs, but he can't knock it away. And this is just exactly what we need to see. Quick, not a whole lot of developing plays, but occasionally look for one, as we are going to look for one here. Hurst essentially on a wheel route. Blocking, not quite holding up, and he just tosses it up. Not a smart play there by Young. Just sent it right to Bell. It was a panic throw, and one that he at least gave it to a one-on-one, but Bell had the positioning the whole time. As the Cowboys head out their first possession, and the ball pops free, though it does look like it's recovered by one of the old linemen. Deuce Vaughn starts the game out there for him and nearly coughs it up in one play. We are fully healthy as well on defense this week. Hopefully we see that improve, as how did Gallup drop that? Should have at least been a gain of a few yards, but 3rd and 9 instead. But Derek Brown is out there. He was injured last week, as well as new safety in C.J. Gardner-Johnson. But it's across the middle, which they pick up the first down, and it was not actually Vaughn. Check that. It was actually Tyler Batty, and he ends up getting injured on a play. Now coming out is Deuce Vaughn. So for some reason they haven't had Pollard. Potentially he might have been a practice squad injury this week, as they do pick up a gain of 4. We saw this defense producing a good bit of pass rush in the first couple drives. After that last week, we really didn't see a whole lot from them. With the addition of having back Derek Brown, I expect to see some better play, and the tackling is iffy so far. We at least get the ankle there. But I do expect that we see some good plays from the backers here, as we do not actually see the good play there. Brown ends up slowing him down. Cleaning it up is the addition of Isaiah Oliver. In last week's game, the first for the rookie Stockton, he showed some decent signs, was a step behind on a couple passing plays, but in the running game, he did pretty well, but he's just not being quick enough. A little flat-footed to start this one, as Vaughn is going to work. So far, 4 carries for 40 yards. Doing a lot better than Batty did earlier on. As they look for a pass across the middle, they will find CeeDee Lamb in tight coverage, but we can't knock it away. We saw that pretty consistently last week. We didn't allow a whole lot of yards after the catch, as there's Stockton getting the stop. Sent him on the blitz, and he hits home that time. But yeah, we were in tight coverage a lot last week, just struggled to actually knock the ball away, as it's wide open for Vaughn. Someone missed their assignment as he picks up another first down. A Kansas State alum going to work with this Cowboys offense. Don't know if his dad still works for the Cowboys, but that was a great video. If you didn't see it, his dad got to essentially draft him as they go to him, and he does not hold it on. Stockton knocks it away. But already we've reached the end of the first quarter. A mistake cost us on what was looking like a good drive. Cowboys still trying to capitalize off of it, as it's another drop from Gallup. It's just going through his hands today. Though, as I say that, watch him do something crazy soon. Hopefully not on this play. 3rd and goal, though, as they're down at the 9. With a couple curl routes, they do go to their tight end. Ferguson gets the catch. For some reason, Brown doesn't try to knock it away. He at least secures the tackle. 4th and goal at the 2. And they are lining up to go for it here. I feel like selling out. They got they do have 2 receivers out there. I thought it said 33 on the outside. They do go with a pass to the outside, and we pay for it. Shoemaker gets the opening touchdown of the game. Cowboys on top. And eventually, we do end up paying for that interception as we head back out on offense, now down 7-0. We just need to see a bit more of what we were doing that first drive, just clean it up as we find the rookie in Thomas right down the middle. We didn't really do anything bad outside of the one interception. That one was pretty bad, but the rest of that drive was really good. As we get to the outside here, trying to pick up that last block, and it's a major one. Look for the juke, no bounce off, and it's a big run set free by Aquanu as Chuba Hubbard flips the field. When your coach says, let the blocking set up the run, that is exactly it. Chuba Hubbard patient there, let the block develop, and it was a big block as Young trying to scramble, get to the outside. He has his guy, but it is knocked away. We had 3 receivers there, 1 defender. The defender makes the play. Though, don't want to take away what Young did there. Barely was able to escape the pocket and nearly made the big play. As we fake the jet sweep, fake the play action, we'll get it out here to Juwan Jennings, who will pick up about a yard or 2. Really needed him to put a move on the guy, and he did not do that. 3rd and 8. As they spread a little bit wider here to match our set. Going with the halfback screen, got some blockers out in front. Pick up the one on the edge, Chuba Hubbard out of bounds at the 13, picking up another first. He was over 100 yards in total last week. Though we're going to look for Chenault here, depending on what the outside corner does. It's a badly thrown ball. That needed to be in the back corner. Instead, it barely even made it to the first part of the goal line. So a little bit of some hit and miss throwing, I would say, so far to open up the day here for Young. Hard count, no 1 jumps. Got a couple curl routes set up. As Young just going to look to scramble, tried to bounce it to the outside, but did not bounce quick enough. 3rd and 4 at the 6. We could get a first down just inside the 3. We got a couple slants and a zig to the left-hand side. Zig is the primary read, though we had a couple different slants. We threw the first one too late. Second one was wide open. It's a bad read, and we get lucky that that one wasn't picked. We'll make the smarter choice here. We'll send out the rookie in forward, at least try to tack on some points at the end of this drive. That's 2 touchdown drives we should have had. Inevitably, we're still down 7-3. And as the defense heads back out, let's not let Deuce Vaughn have a record-setting day against us. Already looking pretty good in his limited time out there. As I go with the slant, not even slant, seam, what I meant to say. And it works well to CD Lamb. It was also just a impeccably thrown ball by Dak Prescott right over the top of Oliver, who was sitting in a pretty good spot. Really just ball placement on that one as they try to go with the stretch. Patient running, and for some reason Deion Jones forgets how to tackle. Luckily Oliver cleans it up. It's a gain of 8. Right now, hard to say the Cowboys are playing the better game. More so, we're just making really silly mistakes out there. As it's 2nd and 2. They do make a check. We send the blitz. It's Stockton who gets a hit in on him, but the ball is out and off the hands of Lamb. We get lucky once again. Oliver gets a little bit lucky. He gave up a touchdown last week on a near identical play there where, again, he's in decent coverage. He just doesn't quite have that last step as we almost get another hit in on Dak, but well-delivered ball. First down for Schoonmaker. Maker made that mistake. Do I think Schoonmaker sounds better? Sure, but his name is Schoonmaker. Did have to look it up. 1st and 10 for the Dallas Cowboys. They're at the 35. Will be another throw. Dak to the outside. It's going to be Ferguson, their tight end, with another gain of 8. Definitely feeling like this is a game we're going to have to rely on man coverage and hopefully actually get some better knockouts this week, as it's a decent coverage again on the outside, but just a half step, well-placed ball, and CD Lamb brings it in, and they're down to the 2. And speaking of 2, brings us to the 2-minute warning. It is 7-3 with the Dallas Cowboys on the doorstep here. And they'll bring out a spread yet heavy look here. They will throw from it, and it is caught this time. Michael Gallup. 3rd time is the charm for him, as that time it does not go through his hands and gives them a 2-score lead. And that will leave us with 1:54 seconds to try to find what really needs to be a touchdown here before half. We have all timeouts, and we start spread. Spread empty, to be more specific. Going out to Jennings, but it's another misplaced ball today. Young only had 4 incomplete passes last week, and he threw for 355 yards, already double that amount of incompletions today. As we get this one out on the halfback screen, try to pick up some blocks. Chuba Hubbard cuts back towards the middle and does pick up a first down. Not exactly what you want to see, cutting back in towards the middle when you also have to kind of have some clock management. But we have our tight end downfield. It's Hayden Hurst, and he can't bring it in. Looked like the knee of Bell knocked that one free. Maybe if it's placed slightly better, it's a big gain and not a tight coverage kind of play. But it is what it is. We just got to do better. As I get this one out to Chenault on the run, it's about a step behind. We are extremely close to making big plays in this one, but we're just not quite getting it done. As it's 3rd and long here, get this one out to Chenault. That time it's a pretty decently placed ball in. We get the first down and out of bounds. We're at the 49. Now we've definitely, seemingly, knock on wood, taken the blitz away from the Cowboys. As I say that, they do bring it here, but it's going to be Chuba Hubbard wide open at the sideline, who brings it in and scampers out at the 18, or more so escorted out by Hooker. But Hubbard continues to be an extremely important part of this team's passing game. Without him, we definitely would not have had as many big plays as we have had. A lot of hads in that one, as we have to throw that one away. On 2nd and 10, with a lot of our receivers low on stamina, we bring out the tight ends. It's an athletic group of tight ends. As we go a little bit of some play action, but also athletic at the edge, and we barely get that one off. Micah Parsons does well on that one to really take away that play. As we have 3 offensive linemen to the left-hand side, don't really want Kennard going out on a route, so I guess we're just going to have 3 blockers and Jennings going deep. All right, let's see how this works. Well, we got a wide open receiver to the other side. It's the rookie and Thomas trying to hit the brakes. He picks up the first down, but Christensen is injured for the 2nd week in a row. We suffered a lot of in-game injuries last week. Another one will end up costing us one of our timeouts. Probably would have needed to use it either way, as there's 48 seconds left. We keep out the big boy group though. Chuba Hubbard trying to find some space down the middle and tries to fight through Bell. Doesn't, but we're down to the 1. So let's bring out our goal line back in. Cam Akers still has the speed, the acceleration, but he brings some trucking and some power as he bounces it and tried to take on Van Der Esch. He does not sneak in. That leaves us with a 3rd and goal. 1 timeout remaining, 24 seconds. Looking for a double team. Gonna put that on Micah Parsons, Ekwonu, as well as the left guard, though we don't get the double team. Cam Akers, though, spinning off the tackle attempt and in. We do cap off another 2-minute drive with a touchdown. This offense continues to really put their best work forward when they're backed up. Defense, though, can they do something here, as there's a knock away finally. Horn on Brandon Cooks, knocks that one away. Leaves 2nd and 10. They got 18 seconds left. They also have all of their timeouts as they try to go with a stretch to the outside. Coming back towards the middle is Vaughn, who gets knocked down by Stockton. And they decide not to run another play. So we head into halftime. Once again, we're able to fight back through some of our mistakes. It's still a close game, still very much a winnable game here, 14-10, as we take a break. Both teams head to the locker room as we look around the league. First up, it's the Saints as they're taking on the Eagles, and the Eagles are up 21-10. Both teams looking for their first win on the season. Derek Carr around 50%, not looking all too hot. Up top, Minnesota Vikings taking on the Lions, and it is all Lions so far in that first half. 17-0. Jared Goff, 2 touchdowns. Sam Darnold, the quarterback for the Vikings now in this universe. Not all too promising. They did take a rookie. He's clearly not getting the start. As for the last game, it's 7-7 as the Giants hosting the Commanders. Both teams got a win in week 1. And as we start our second half here, we also got a win in week 1, and we would surely love a win here in week 2. But we need to see the defense put forward a much better half, and it starts off with a not so good play. Ferguson spread all the way out, finds all the space, picks up a gain close to midfield. They mark him down at the 45. Need to tighten up the coverage. It is a tough group here. As they swing it out, it's Vaughn past the diving Deion Jones. He's having himself a great game today. And it has been confirmed Tony Pollard is out due to an injury he suffered in practice this week. It's just a quadriceps strain, so he'll be back in following weeks. It's nothing major, but what's major for us is our need to make some plays on defense. We've really gotten no pass rush at all today, and that is even through sending some blitzes. Every time we do get a little bit of a rush, Dak Prescott gets it away pretty quickly, as they do there, past a couple diving defenders. Luckily, Brown ends up bringing down Lamb, but they're at the 11. We knew our style of game was going to be the short, quick passing game, but the Cowboys are doing just that and doing it extremely well as there is movement up front. It's arguably our best play of defense so far, and they didn't even snap the ball and lose 5 yards. 1st and 15. As they go across the middle, they find Ferguson once again, and we're just struggling to find the proper angles on these tackles. We apparently need to invest in some of those donuts that you roll and learn how to tackle. Put your head on the proper side, all of that fun stuff. As what a catch by Lamb. Isaiah Oliver dove out for it, timed it up well with a hit, but Lamb holds on, and he makes it a 2-score game once again. But with the ball in our hands, this team makes plays as we're starting up the 42 following a great return by the rookie in Sims. They do walk down the safety to the right-hand side, so we're going to shift that offensive line that way. Help us try to have a little bit more protection, and I think it was worse with the shift. Sack comes in for Gardick. First-year player for the Cowboys. He came over from the Arizona Cardinals. As we stick with a similar look here, we do have an RPO dialed up, and we'll swing it out there as we do get a block. Chenault springing forward to the outside, picking up a first down. A nice juke and a hit boosts us forward even more, down to the 41. He is very much our gadget kind of guy, and he's worked out pretty well in that role. We stick with the same look for a little bit of some play action. Hayden Hurst to the outside, but it's once again too far to the outside. We saw some really accurate balls last week. Young was dropping them in perfectly. He just must not had a good week of practice. He was banged up a little bit last week. As this one lofted, it's too far up front, and Jennings was wide open. We need to see more from the leader of this offense here. 3rd and 10. Hard count, no one moves. Going back to the halfback screen as they read it well, and Mozzie Smith, what a play. And now we're really going to need our defense to put forth their best drive here. We can't allow a touchdown at least. Field goal would maybe be manageable, but we need to find a way to make some plays here. Good stop, Deion Jones, crashing down on the catch. First time we've seen Tyler Batty since earlier on when he got injured. So he seems to be doing okay, but he exits right after that play as they bring out back Deuce Vaughn, and a little bit of some bump down there from Cooks. No penalty thrown. He picks up the catch and a first down. We just really need to see our corners, our DBs in general, just be a lot more aggressive, as now we have the bump and they're going to call us for it as Lamb with the shake and bake. They're flipping the field here, plus this is going to be the DPI call. Or apparently not. Actually a late hit, which is just going to tack on more yards to the end of the play. They're now inside the red zone with, once again, Ferguson playing on the outside as a receiver, the deep end. This time not a first down, but a touchdown, as they do widen their lead even more. All right, Young, now's the time for to get ourselves back in this game. We need a touchdown, and a quick touchdown on this drive. As we go out wide, it's going to be Chuba Hubbard who stays in bounds. If he stayed on his feet, might have been a little bit more, but it's a nice, good chunk play. Just too much speed and too sharp of route running there for Van Der Esch to keep up. As we stick with a similar look, though we move Hubbard over. Look for a throw to the outside. We're going to find Chenault. A great catch there. Well, there's no time to celebrate, as already we're in hurry-up mode here. Needing to find some big plays as Hubbard and Chenault bump into each other and keep that from being a first down. So we'll just go with a simpler play here, 3rd and 1. Though we need to make the play, and somehow Hubbard doesn't get there. It's Mozzie Smith again. Though, of course, we're going for it here. I mean, this is a first down we have to get. And we're going to run right at Smith, who's made the last couple big plays. Not making that one. We pick up the first down with the rookie in Jordan Thomas. But we haven't seen today as much of the deep ball. We saw a little bit of that last week. We just haven't had much time to really try to set that up. As we go with Tommy Tremble across the middle, he's picking up another first down. And that brings us to the 4th quarter. It's been a tough game for us, and every time we've missed a step, Cowboys have capitalized on it. If we are going to have any chance at pulling off an upset here, we're going to have to be quick and efficient with these drives, and that's both offensively and defensively, as we step up and not deliver a pass within 5 yards of the receiver. We knew this defensive line was going to be a problem for us, and it definitely has been. We've been able to get some bigger chunk plays than I expected we would. As I say that, Odigizua with the dive catches the ankles. That'll leave us with a 3rd and 14 following the sack. as time is running here. Need to find a big play, and they cover just about all of it as they're having to scramble, try to buy some time. Someone make a play. We get it out to Mingo. He at least gets the catch. Let's get back to the line here. And to just semi-break the wall. That pass was not intended for Mingo, but I'm going to take the catch for sure. As we step up, picking up the first down with Young, not much more. Once again, back to the line as they do change it up a little bit. They had 2 high safeties, so we'll change up our look as well. Sticking with some quick throws across the middle. It is just not on the mark. And we'll send the receivers to the sideline for a little bit of a breather. Bring out the tight ends. Look for a little bit of some play action roll as the ball pops free. Micah Parsons jumps on it. We did not hold the edge whatsoever on that one. There was no chip from the tight end, and around the edge, lays the hit, ball pops free. It's Lawrence. And with essentially 6.5 minutes left, unless this defense starts to force some big plays, we're running out of time. As they go down the middle, Tyler Batty gains a yard. Now obviously this team still has a lot of building to do, so the score, I feel like, is reminiscent of the actual talent level. Luckily, we play in a not-so-good division as Vaughn has all the space to the outside. A great job there from Sidney Brown to limit what probably should have been a touchdown. But once again, that moves the average up for Vaughn, and he's running with about 10 yards per carry. Way too much, as he once again just finds some space. Maybe we just can't see him back there. Had to throw at least one of those in there. Unfortunately, we haven't seen Derek Brown, do anything today in his return. But, you know, some of the other guys are making plays. Grover Stewart with a good stop there. And that does a fantastic job of lowering the average per rush from 10 to 8. I'll take it. As they have some options across the middle, as C.J. Gardner-Johnson just misses entirely. Good rush from Dak, his first of the day, picks up a clutch first. But what we have seen today is that we definitely have a lot of work to do with this defense. Even what we're good at, man coverage, still that has been a good bit off today. They've gotten a lot of guys open as Dak looking for another run, lowers the shoulder through Deion Jones. The disrespect. Not even valuing what Jones did just come off a game where he laid some pretty big hits. But Dak Prescott, no problem for him. They got another 1st and goal. Vaughn with some open space. Not into the end zone, though, rolling down to the 1. Despite all the work he's done in this game, both receiving and running, he has not had the touchdown yet as we hit the 2-minute warning. But he may have himself an opportunity here, as he is the lone back right down the middle and swallowed up his Shy Tuttle. Will end up being a loss of about a yard as he stays out there. The single back with a bunch to the left. One lone receiver over to the right-hand side. They go with a toss. Flowing across is the safety who does help get the stop, as well as Deion Jones. So there we go. At least one good thing this defense did here late on. They got a goal line stand, sends out the field goal unit. They're going to tack on a few more points here. They get 31-10. But now with 35 seconds left in this game, I just want to see if we could get some big plays. Just something positive to take with us into next week as we go for Juwan Jennings, and it's just perfect coverage from Diggs. He's been completely locked down this game. We have not found any of those big plays through the air, really, outside of some going to Chuba Hubbard when he's just completely wide open. As we take this one downfield, it's going to be picked off. Plus, I'm pretty sure the throw was past the line of scrimmage. That's going to end this one. It was just not a good day from Young. Coming off of an NFC Player of the Week performance. Again, only had 4 incomplete passes, had 4 touchdowns, over 350 yards. But today, he struggled to complete some simple passes, missed several opportunities. It's not entirely on him, though. The defense also very much struggled, and I would say a very comparable game to Young, where there were opportunities. But every time, we missed out on those opportunities to swat the ball away, to get the tackle, to prevent the first down, to get a sack even. In the first 2 games, we have combined for a total of 1 sack, split between Grover Stewart and Tristan Hill. We've done decently well in terms of tackles for a loss. I mean, we're getting involved with the defensive line in the run game. But in the passing game, the defensive line has been non-existent. And we don't really have a super highly rated cornerback group that can cover for all time possible. So we need the defensive line to step up, and we might need to make some rotational changes. For the first couple games, we've had Gross Matos getting the start, and on the other side has been DJ Wanham. We have a couple other guys we could try to get out there. Kingsley Enagbar, we did trade for last episode. We also have a second-year guy in DJ Johnson, who played at Oregon. We could try to get out there a little bit as well, but I think it's going to be over at this left outside linebacker spot where we do make most of those testing changes, primarily because DJ Wanham is a 76. He's a higher-rated guy, and he has the potential to be a pretty solid guy out there. Just hasn't got the job quite done yet. He's been closer to anyone else. So we're going to give him a little bit more time, but definitely we're going to start rotating over with Gross Matos, Johnson, and then Enagbar to see who's going to make some plays for us. And I really hope that those changes make big impact quickly, because the competition is not easing up next time, as it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. They're 1-1, same record we are, but they have an 89 offense and 85 defense for an 87 overall. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes, enough said there, but they have a really good offense right now. 3rd in points per game, 1st in passing yards, and 11th in rushing yards. Their defense, though, has been awful. It's been bottom 4 in every category. 31st in points per game, 31st in passing yards per game, and 28th in rushing. So our offense, as long as Young has a semi-decent game, we should be okay. We still have the 10th ranked rush defense, and we still have the 5th ranked passing offense, though it just was not as good today. Opportunities were there, and we can't miss out on those. Cost us today. Hopefully it doesn't next time. So make sure you stick around for it. Hit the bell icon on the bottom right or scroll down. Hit that subscription button. They both do the same thing, and subscribing to the channel. You definitely make sure you also tap that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. This series every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Plus we have the state-only challenge, currently Michigan, every Wednesday and Saturday. So the first off-season / second regular season video, that will be out tomorrow. So do not miss that one. And we'll see you guys next time for another tough opponent in the Kansas City Chiefs.